What is up, guys? And so before the following video, I just wanted to show you guys a few combos that Super Heavy Samurais can do in link format, simply because, it's just a way to get our brains thinking about, the upcoming topic that I'm going to talk about. So, yeah, so in your hand, you would have Peacemaker, Soul Piercer, Magnet, and General Jade. Now, the General Jade can also be either a trumpeter or a big RG, right? It's any of these three. So these three are must-haves, and any of these three. Okay, so let's just say, for context, we're starting with General Jade, right? So what you would do here is you would start off by normal summoning your Magnet, and Magnet's effect would activate to allow you to, well, let me just try to get clear here. So yeah, Magnet would allow you to summon out your Soul Piercer. And so you're pretty much at a good spot right here. Now, as you can see, you do have the option to make a Mrs. Radiant, but what you're going to do instead, you're going to equip your Soul Piercer onto your Soul... I said Soul Piercer. It's so confusing because they both have Soul in their names, and then their next word starts with a P, like Soul Peacemaker, Soul Piercer. Anyway, so you're going to use Peacemaker to equip the Soul Piercer, and then use Soul Peacemaker's effect to tribute Soul Piercer and Soul Peacemaker to special summon out Super Heavy Samurai Scales from your deck, right? Now, Soul Piercer is going to activate, and so what you're going to do is you get back your Soul Piercer with Scales, and Scale is going to be like a chain, so it's going to be like you get to activate both in the same chain since they both activate at the same time, so it's going to be 1-2 or 2-1, whichever you want to do. I would suggest 1-2, so Soul Piercer goes first, and your Scales can't be striked. You know what I'm saying? So you would search either your big orgy or your trumpeter, and then you would special summon back your Scales. I mean, not Scales. Your Soul Peacemaker. So at this point, you can use your Scales. Oh yeah, well, Magnet would also be in defensive position due to his effect. And so at this point, you can either use any of these two. He has 100 more defense, so just use your Scales and your Soul Peacemaker to go into a link summon for the Mrs. Radiant, right? So Mrs. Radiant would be right here, see, since that's where the link zone is. And so from there, Soul Piercer would activate again. You would search your big Warg, and now you're summoning out your trumpeter or your big Warg first, whichever one you summon first. And both of these limit you to summon Super Heavy Samurai monsters only for the rest of the turn. And so what you would do here is you would summon out your trumpeter and then summon out your big Warg, and this is only 7, but you can activate your Jade and use his effect to increase one of their levels by 1, so it would be 6 and 2 or 3 and 5, and synchro summon into the level 8 Super Heavy Samurai Ninja Sarutobi. So this is a 4-card hand. Pretty much what you're doing here is you have a synchro monster that once per turn during either player's turn, since you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, he can destroy a spell trap card on the field. So kind of like an MST, and if the spell and trap card actually is destroyed, your opponent takes 500. A Magnet just stops your opponent from attacking. Is it all monsters or just Super Heavy Samurai monsters? Oh yeah, so it's all monsters except for him. So they can't attack your Mrs. Radiant, and both of these guys get a defense boost because of Mrs. Radiant. Mrs. Radiant would increase both of their defense by 500, so Magnet would be at 2400 and Sarutobi at 3300 defense. So, your 5th card, it can be a Soulfire suit, it can be a hand trap like Ghost Ogre Maxi, it can be something more like Archmeta-centric. Now, remember that this is a hand more for going first, you know what I'm saying? Because Super Heavies are a deck that can be real aggressive, but it's like defensively they don't really do too much, which is kind of ironic because it's like they're focused around attacking in defense mode, and they're not really that defensive as an archetype. You can probably like if you start off with a flutist, you can get the same board, but If you do start off with a Flutist, it would have to be summoned off of Magnet's effect. If you can do that, can you do that? Yeah, okay. So Magnet can summon any level 4 lower Super Heavy Samurai monsters. So summon Magnet, summon out Flutist, tribute Flutist, summon out your Soul Piercer, and then go into the combo again. So yeah, this is pretty much the best board Super Heavies can make by themselves. So now we're going to do the same thing except starting off with a Gofu. Now in the TCG, Link format comes out this Friday, July 21st, and there still has been no ban list to even touch Gofu. So, and Konami said not to expect a ban list until somewhere around September. So we're going to have him for at least a month and a half to 2 months. And the reason why he's so good in Link format is because he can just summon himself out and then bring out 2 tokens, and then, you know, it's like free Link plays for 1 monster. And his only summoning condition is while you control no monsters, he's a free special summon, so you don't even waste your normal summon on him. So that's why he is pretty good. So starting off, obviously, you would start off with your Gofu, right? In the middle zone. Actually, it doesn't have to be the middle. Just make sure that it's not under the extra deck monster zone. It's just one of the zones, like either the farthest left, the farthest right, or directly in the middle. That it's not under one of the extra deck monster zones. And so he would bring himself out 2 tokens, right? So I got myself the Kaiba and the Yugi token. And so from there, what you would do is you would use both tokens for 2 Link Spiders, right? So the first Link Spider would go in your extra deck monster zone, and the second Link Spider would go into your main monster zone. Link Spider is getting released in the starter deck this Friday. Link Strike starter deck coming out July 21st, which is also when the rules get updated. So it's going to be immediate. This is going to be an immediate combo. And then Coda the Duelist only comes out 2 weeks later, so, you know, we can kind of just say, like, you can just do this. Okay, so these are your 2 Link Spiders in the graveyard right here. And here is your Mrs. Radiant, which you have just pulled off without even wasting a normal summon. Now, Gofu is still here. Gofu is still a level 5 tuner. And he can still synchro summon with any other monster. So now you also have the option to summon out your Magnet and then summon out your Soul Piercer and then do the same combo. Now just be wary that if you're going to do this, just remember you summon out your Scales and then you search 1 and then you get your Soul Piercer back. So you have 5 monsters on board. And 4. My bad. I can't count. So let's put this in the zone right here. So you have 4 monsters on board. Now, you have Trumpeter in your hand. And you have 3 level 4 monsters here. So if you wanted to, you can synchro summon a level 9 right now. Because this would be your last time to use Gofu. So you can go into a Proxy Dragon, into a Decode Talker, you know, anything you really want. I mean, I wouldn't really suggest Decode Talker. I forget Magnet has to be in defense mode. But, you know, Link 3s, Link 4s, this is when you'd be able to go into it. Maybe a Firewall Dragon. You know, it's like you have a lot of options here. But let's just assume we're going to go with the same combo that we did last time. Except, you know, it would have to be a little different now. Because, obviously, you can't just make another Mrs. Radiant. You would have to go into like a Proxy Dragon or into another Link monster to get your Soul Piercer's effect. And so you have the option here to summon out your Trumpeter and just only focus for Super Heavy Samurai monsters for the rest of the turn. But at the same time, you can also just use your current monsters on board to go into more like a more diverse range of Link monsters. So this is like your... So Gofu really opens up the options in this deck. Like, you don't even have to use this setup. I'm sure you'd still use your Magnet, go into Soul Piercer, so go into Soul Peacemaker, and, you know, from there, you know, you can do even more. But, you know, if you wanted to, you can still do the same combo. Just this time you might want to use something like a Decode Talker, so you can use these 2 to summon out Decode Talker and to stop your monsters from being targeted if you wanted. and then, or you can use something like summon out your trumpeter, synchro for level 6, right? You can go into your Shutendo G. Now, because you're going into Shutendo G, this is first turn, so his effect to destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls wouldn't be too useful. And at this point, if you do that, you're going to be stuck with Gofu. So actually, if you're going to summon out, if you're going to start this combo with Gofu, make sure Gofu is all the way on the left, actually, because he can't be here, because he wouldn't do anything here. Just make sure Gofu's all the way on the left, and the tokens can be whenever, since you're just going to use them for your extra monster zone. So Gofu, all the farthest possible zone from your extra monster zone. All right, or. And since your Soul Piercer will get you another search, you can go into another Trumpeter, special out that Trumpeter again, since Trumpeter isn't a once per turn, and then Synchro into a Steam Train King, 4,800 defense, and he can pop cards on the field, and yeah, he can banish all spell and trap cards in the graveyard. Again, he isn't the guy you want to summon out first turn. He's something that you kind of want to save. So it's really like, although the options for the deck are opened, it's like they still aren't really all that good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's because these guys are limited to Super Heavy Samurai monsters only. But going second, this is absolutely broken, because you can actually make power plays and then push to your opponent's board. So actually making Decode Talker wouldn't be a bad idea in that situation. But it's like first turn, you'd probably just go the Mrs. Radiant using... this is what the board was like, right? Yeah. Using... just special summon out this guy, synchro into level 6, and then search... just search another Trumpeter, summon out that Trumpeter, since you're going to have level 6 here, and synchro summon into your level 8. Now, at this point, I think it would have been nice to actually just have another another Trumpeter in your hand instead of having the General Jade, right? So if you draw Gofu, you want 2 Trumpeters in your hand, because then you can summon out the second Trumpeter and synchro summon into Warlord Susanoo. So Warlord Susanoo. And so he can actually steal the spell and trap cards from grave that Sarutobi destroys. So let's say you steal, so let's say they set like a Mirror Force, a Storming Mirror Force, right? Because they just want to bluff you. You activate Sarutobi, destroy that Storming Mirror Force, and as soon as it hits the grave, you can... it's a response window for Susanoo to activate. Susanoo, set that card to your field. Storming Mirror Force to your field for free. So it actually doesn't matter whether this is Mr. Radiant or Decode Talker. If it's Decode Talker, you can actually do more, because then you'd have a little more protection when cards get targeted. But Mrs. Radiant would boost these guys up to 4,300 and him up to 3,300. So yeah, that is the potential of Super Heavy Samurais in Link format going first. I know this video was a little messy, not really high quality, but I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of what Super Heavy Samurais can do in Link format before I talk about whether I think they are a good choice for for Link format. And this is all without Daihachi, and I do think Daihachi would do pretty much the same thing. It's just Daihachi would make this a little more consistent. It's like you'd be doing the same thing. You still go into all this and that with Gofu, or without Gofu, you'd just have Mrs. Radiant and Sarutobi and Magnet, which still isn't a bad board for first turn. You know what I'm saying? But with Gofu, you do a lot more. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, this is all for now. I know, my table's a mess. This was Nistro here. Nistro out. I'm sorry for the low quality camera, but it's the best I could do.